Hello, young students. You're watching me live or on a recorded video, maybe on your cell phone or on desktop or on tab. If I say you're able to watch these videos or able to use all electrical gadgets what you are using today, imagine your life without all these things. What will happen? Simply, you can't imagine your life without electrical gadgets or electronic gadgets. If I say you are able to use all these facilities or luxury for someone, is because of this. What is this? A frog. Surprised? How frog is important in all of whatever you are using? For that, we have to see some history. In 1791, there was a person called Galvani. He declared that he has generated electricity using frog. Today, you might laugh, but imagine a life in 1791 when there was no electricity, no instrument which runs on electricity. So in 1791, he declared that I am generating electricity with the help of frog. People were amazed, and there was nothing to test electricity generated. So people standed in a queue outside Galvani's lab to take shock, because taking shock was the only option was available whether electricity generated or not. But at the same time, there was one person who was not convinced with Galvani. His theory was how frog can generate electricity. But in science, you cannot say other person wrong. In science, you have to prove other person is wrong. So for that person started working. He actually started working in 1794 to prove Galvani wrong, but he did the work for next 6 years. And by the time 1800 century came, and finally that person declared that frog cannot generate electricity, Galvani is wrong, and I have something to prove him wrong. So it took years for that person to prove Galvani wrong, and he invented first battery. Any guess the name of that person? Think for a while. Imagine your life without batteries. Where all we are using batteries? We are using batteries in cell phone, we are using batteries in car, we are using batteries in watch, laptops. So without battery, imagine just your life. So, any guess who was that person? Yes, Alessandro Volta. He invented first battery in 1800. He dipped silver and zinc metal strips in electrolyte medium, and because of that potential difference, electric current flows and we are able to generate electricity from chemical energy to electrical energy. Immediately in 1 week, using Volta's battery, Nicholson and Carsley, they did one wonderful experiment, electrolysis of water. Nicholson and Carsley separated hydrogen and oxygen from water. By that time, we were not aware about this thing. So using electrolyte method, the battery which was invented by Volta used by Nicholson and Castle to separate hydrogen and oxygen from water. This story goes on continuing. After 6 years, there was a famous scientist in chemistry, Humphrey Davy. He created a strong battery which gives more potential difference and more current. Using Humphrey's battery, he used that battery in chemistry and he discovered many new elements, including barium, potassium, calcium, strontium, and discovery of elements was a very good thing. And Humphrey Davy used the battery invented by Volta, and he was a very famous scientist. At the same time, why I am telling you all these things? Because when we use something in science, it is always said that sitting on a shoulders of giants, whatever work is done by your preceders or others, you keep recording, you write down your observations, next person use your work and see something far. So when it's a simple thing that when you sit on a shoulder of your father or mother, you see much more beyond what they cannot see. In science, this is very much true. So at the same time, there was one boy who used to work in bookstore, and he loved to read science books. And he found one book of Humphrey Davy written on science, and he was very much amazed and impressed by the work of Humphrey Davy. He wanted to meet Humphrey Davy, and in 1812 he read a newspaper that Humphrey Davy is coming for a lecture in his town. But there was a fee of 1 shilling, though it is very less, but for that child, going to a paid lecture was a difficult task. But somehow he managed and attended the lecture of Humphrey Davy. Davy was a big scientist by that time, and this boy is just working in a bookstore. He wrote a letter to Humphrey Davy that he wanted to meet him. But Davy was a big scientist, and as some human nature, he was ignorant to such new students as well. Then Humphrey Davy didn't reply. So what that child does, he took out a note of more than 380 pages of Davy sir's lecture, and he sent that notebook to Davy sir. And he also applied for a job, whether I can work with you. Davy was reluctant initially, but looking at those 386 pages notes the boy took out of his lecture, he said that, okay, if you want to work with me, I have only one vacancy. You come and wash utensils in my lab. Ask yourself, will you go to someone's place to wash their utensils? Will you accept the job? But that boy accepted the job. And he thought, okay, though I will wash utensils of Davy sir, but I will be close to him. I will learn new things, working closely at his lab. That was his vision. And later he became one of the world's finest scientists. And because of his inventions, you can see me, or you can use so many things, specifically electricity. Find out his name. I will tell you in later who was he. At the same time, in 1820, there was one more person. His name is Hans Oersted. He was working in his lab for his evening lecture. So he prepared one electrical circuit. And again I tell you, I repeat that Oersted was using the electrical current which is generated by the battery invented by Volta. And he was preparing for his evening lecture, and very fortunately to us, he kept one magnetic compass. I will just show you that all you know magnetic compass, but anyway I will show it to you. This magnetic compass he kept beside his circuit. So all you know that this magnetic compass shows north and south direction. And this compass was kept beside his circuit, and what Oersted observed, when you switch on the circuit, the needle which normally settles in north and south direction gets deflected from its original position. Oersted was surprised, because by that time we only know that we can deflect the needle only using any permanent magnet. So he checked under his table whether any permanent magnet is there. He checked everywhere around the table in drawers whether any magnetic permanent magnet is there which is causing the deflection of this compass. But he didn't found it. And he also observed this needle is deflecting only when the circuit is on. He switched off the circuit, that needle again comes in its original position, that is north and south. So Oersted tried few more experiments. Oersted switched on the circuit. He took the compass close to the circuit. The degree of deflection increases. He took that compass away from the circuit. The degree of deflection is reduced, and at one point, whether circuit is on or off, there was no effect on magnetic compass. So he thought, because needle can only deflect in presence of magnetic field or any permanent magnet. So he said, when electricity is passing through any conductor, it produces an invisible force which causes the movement of the needle. And later we say that as an electromagnetic field. So what Oersted observed was very essential thing in the history of science or in physics. That when electricity passes through any conductor, it produces magnetic field around it. And today we call it as a electromagnetism. We will see different experiments to see effects of electromagnetism. Specifically in this session we will see magnetic effects of electric current using different experiments. So we will see those experiments. Now we will begin with our first activity, making lines of forces using permanent magnet. These three things you will find in your kit: a card sheet, a permanent magnet having poles south and north, and iron filings. So just place the bar magnet and place card sheet on it. Take the iron filings and you have to tap. Don't put all the iron filings at a time on the card sheet. You have to just sprinkle the iron filings onto the card sheet at all places. Don't put all iron filings at a time at one place. So as this is a permanent magnet, some pattern is visible here So I will stop here. Now you have to tap it using anything. Don't touch the card sheet, just tap on the table and you will see those ion particles arrange themselves in a particular pattern. So even if I will just try to tap it here. So I think this is good visible. If you can see these lines of forces from North Pole to South Pole. So normally magnetic field comes out of the North Pole and enters into the South Pole. We will see this in another experiment. But here these are the lines of forces of bar magnet. And you can perform this first experiment using material inside your kit. Secondly, now I will show it to you what happens, what Oersted observed. So this magnetic compass is in your kit. Just place it and let it settle. Red marking should be on the north side. So you have to adjust the compass in such a way that it is north and south are aligned with the needle. Now I have permanent magnet. So if I place permanent magnet north, this is north, I am holding the North Pole here. Nothing is happening, but as I start pushing this North Pole towards the magnetic compass, now up till now nothing has happened. Now let us see. Now you see a deflection. So north-north repulsion has occurred. So again I am taking it back. This needle will settle in north-south direction. It is sensitive, so it will take some time to settle down. So when I am taking North Pole towards North Pole, you can see it is moving in this direction, north to south via east. I'll again check. Now it is moving in another direction. So I will try another using South Pole. So basically this happens because of the attraction or repulsion. Now here it is an attraction between North and South Pole. So deflection is not there. You can see the force, attraction force. That is why needle is trying to go to the magnet. So this is attraction force. But if I turn this, there will be now South Pole of the needle and North Pole of this permanent magnet are together. So Oersted observed, this is permanent magnet, Oersted observed it when he passed electricity through a conductor. That field, when you pass electricity to any conductor, it produces magnetic field around it. Now this setup is not provided you in the kit. This setup is a demonstration purpose. I am using it just to show you lines of forces in a magnetic field, a circular loop. Here what we are doing, we are passing electricity through this conductor which is in circular loop, and let us see how lines of forces are formed in this kind of structure. So this is off now. I am just pouring the iron filings onto it. Okay. Now we will start the current from the copper coil and let us see what happens. If needed, we will add more iron filing. So I have connected this to the eliminator and I am switching it on. The moment I switch on, you can see the pattern. They have aligned themselves. But here I need to tap this so that they will align themselves properly. I'm just tapping the acrylic plate. So I will add some more iron filings to it. So we can see on every part of the paper and again I will tap the acrylic base. Now see, you can see the curvature from this to this and this to this side. So this is the pattern of magnetic field produced by circular loop Now you can make such, if you have copper coil, you can try on your own making it. We have provided copper coil to you, but this is a demonstration purpose. It is a big model, but similar model you can construct to see lines of forces in circular loop. Now in this setup, again this setup is not provided to you. I am just using it for demonstration purpose. I have kept the magnetic compass in the circular loop. Before this we saw the lines of forces created in circular loop. Now instead of iron filings, I have kept these small tiny compasses facing, you can see all red markings are facing north. So all compasses are facing north. Right now current is not flowing through this copper coil. So no magnetic field is there. For you now, I will switch on the electric current which will pass through the copper coil, and then you have to observe the deflection in the needles, and then we can find out how magnetic field comes out from the north and enters in the south. So you have to see the direction or deflection of the needles when electricity passes through the circular coil. Now electricity is passing through the coil, and you can see the change in deflection at various points. Now I will switch off the current again. All needles will settle in original position. For you, I will switch on the circuit again just to observe. See. You can draw a pattern and conclude that magnetic field comes out from the north pole and enters into the south pole. So we saw magnetic field due to circular coil. In this we will see effect of magnetic effect of electric current. So when electricity passes through any conductor, it not only produces the magnetic field, but it also exerts a force. That we will learn by Fleming's left hand rule. So if you hold your hand like this, all these three fingers are perpendicular to each other. So this should be a 90-degree angle, and all these three are making a perpendicular with each other. So what these three finger represents? This middle finger always represent the direction of current. This index finger represents the direction of magnetic field and thumb represents the direction of force. So, if current is flowing in this direction, magnetic field will be produced in this direction and it will exert force in this direction. So, if I hold my hand like this, it doesn't mean that now this is showing the direction of current, as earlier this finger was showing the direction of current. So, if I hold my fingers like this, so now the direction of current is towards the ground. So, if direction of current is towards the ground, this index finger will represent the direction of magnetic field produced by the current. So, this thumb will represent the direction of force as an effect. So, here always remember, in Fleming's left hand rule, input is a current and this is output. So, when the current flows in this direction, your output is this force. Now, we will see in this model. So, here what I have done, this model is also just for demonstration purpose. There is a wire kept in the permanent magnetic field. This wire is a conductor. So, I will just again arrange this inside the magnetic field. So, now what will happen? When electricity will pass through this conductor, this is a conductor which golden color or brass color you see, it will produce a magnetic field. And that magnetic field produced by this electromagnet will interact with the permanent magnetic field. So, let us see what happens. I will connect this to a 9-volt battery and you have to observe in which direction this rod is moving, means towards you or towards my side. So, when electricity will pass through this, resultant force will be the movement of this rod. Just you have to observe very carefully, this rod will move towards you or towards me. You can see I have purposefully zoomed the camera so you can see it. Now I am just connecting it. See the movement. Now in this position, this is coming towards me. So when electricity is passing through this from positive to negative, it is coming towards me. Now I will change the direction of current. So if you can see the battery, I am just altering the wires. So I am changing the direction of current. This should affect the change in the force direction. So just see again in which direction that rod is moving. Initially it was moving towards me. So ideally it should move towards you. Then Fleming's left hand rule will be proved. Let us check. 1, 2, 3. See. This is coming towards you. So, this is Fleming's left hand rule basically. Now, we will see how electric motor works. And also, we will discuss Fleming's left hand rule here. This is the basic structure of any motor. This is called as the armature of the motor. Insulated copper coil is there mounted on the rotor. Here you can see the brush. I will just show you. These are the brush touching the copper plates. Then this is a magnetic field in which this copper coil is placed. But these are not permanent magnets. They are just a house of, you can say, a magnetic material, say iron. We are providing electrical current. So when electrical current is passing through the magnetic copper coil, it will create a magnetic field. So let us see, and this is a permanent magnet. So when I will keep it here, this magnetic material will act as a magnet. So first of all, I am not placing it here. So we will just switch on the button, electricity will pass through this, and maybe I will show you that electricity is produced electromagnetic field by just putting some pins there. So let us check. I am passing the electricity through it. This motor is not moving, but I am sure electromagnetic field must have produced somewhere. So you can see this pin is attached to that magnetic field. Now I am taking it out, so this pin is falling down. Right now it is not sticking with it because no electricity is passing through this, so no magnetic field is generated. So as soon as I switch on it, it will hold with the armature. I am again releasing it. So this is a permanent, some magnetism is already there for some time. So this motor is not moving yet. So I am adding this magnet to it. So now the magnetic field is produced. I will switch on it now and let us see. Now here you have to observe this armature is moving in which direction, clockwise or anti-clockwise. So just see, as soon as I press the button, this motor starts spinning, and right now it is, for you, it is spinning in clockwise direction. So see, I am just as you should see, so I am pressing and releasing the button. So you can clearly observe the movement clockwise. Now this is the working of motor. What will happen if I alter the current, I will change the direction of current. So I will change the polarity. Now here black is negative and red is positive. So I am just changing the direction of current. So in Fleming's left hand rule, if you change the direction of current, so if this is the direction of current, this is the magnetic force, direction of force. So now we have changed the direction. Initially this coil was moving in clockwise direction. Now let us check. Now you can see this started moving in anti-clockwise direction. Students, we will make few working models. Now you are very much eager to lay your hands on the material which you already have with you. So we will see what experiments we can perform using the material you got in the kit. This is the material you have got in the kit. Copper coil, magnets, bolt, pins, spoke, permanent magnet, compass, polish paper, a D-type cell, cello tape, white card sheets, and one more pouch which contains a snapper and solenoid. Only thing you need externally from your house is a 9-volt battery, which is not provided in the kit. So you can get this 9-volt battery from any store. Only this battery we haven't provided in the kit, that we will need it later. First activity, now we will create an electromagnetic field or electromagnet using a bolt and copper wire. This is insulated copper wire. You have to unwind it carefully in such a way that it should not be entangled with each other. Once you open this is an insulated copper wire. It has a coating on it. So if you touch it or somewhere here, electricity will not pass from wire to the bolt because it has a insulation here. We need to remove this insulation, but before that we will put this wire onto the bolt. So just leave a 4 fingers of length of wire on this and start winding this copper coil onto the bolt until it ends. So I am doing it fast. You can see it here. just use all the wire which is given here. There are two such bundles, one I'm using right now. So we have these two free ends here. We need to remove the insulation from these free ends. For this we will use this polish paper. Now there are 2-3 ways. Just this rough side you have to use it, and this coating will come out. You will see a shiny copper wire coming out like this. Here this shiny copper wire, metal wire is coming out. This, so from one side I have done, from the other side also remove the insulation. Make sure that you have removed insulation from all the sides. This is a round wire, you have to remove the insulation from all the sides. After this, we need to connect it with a wire. So you have this insulated wire, remove this insulation and this metal part, just twist the wire and fix these two wires here. So you have to connect these wires and make sure that they will not come out. Similarly, on the other side, connect this black wire with it. Now I will use some pins here and I will check whether I can lift. Now this is not a bolt, this bolt we are not passing any electricity right now, so it don't have any magnetism in it. So as soon as you connect, so I'm just taking this 9-volt battery and this 9-volt snapper from the kit, press it, the snapper, and connect wires here. Now you can see electricity is passing through it and it can lift these pins like this. So it is acting as an electromagnet. As soon as you disconnect the circuit, see, these wires will fall down. So in the similar way, this electromagnetic crane works to lift heavy metal objects which are magnetic materials. So this is the working of electromagnet. Now we will see lines of forces created by this electromagnet. Lines of forces created by this electromagnet. So I will just putting this foam additionally here to just for a support, and I am placing this card here onto it, keeping it at the center. Take the iron filings and put the iron filings on it. Now this pattern should be there. So you have to tap this to see this pattern. I think my battery is not working. This 9-volt batteries are little bit they dried very fast. So I will use 1.5-volt battery which I have with me and which is also provided to you. So I will just use the 9-volt battery. So my 9-volt battery was not working, so I have connected this bolt with 1.5-volt cell. Electricity is passing through it and producing electromagnetism. Just hold this card onto it and put the iron filings onto the white card sheet. take any pencil, pen and just tap the card sheet. You can see these beautiful lines of forces. If we can zoom, we will try to show it. These are the beautiful lines of forces produced by electromagnet. In first experiment, we saw lines of forces by permanent magnet, but this is again acting as a bar magnet, but this is electromagnet. So these are the beautiful lines of forces produced by electromagnet. Now I have used the same wire from the bolt and use that wire, insulated copper wire, to wound around the magnetic compass. You cannot see this magnetic needle right now because this wire is from north to south. So if I place this here, now you can see this needle showing actual direction, but we have to match it, this north and south. So when you put the wire, you should put wire along the north and south direction. So when electricity will pass through this wire, it will create a magnetic field which will deflect the needle that we have to see in this experiment. So I am just using this and putting this negative terminal here onto the cell, and as soon as I touch it, the positive terminal of the battery, see the needle, what happens to the needle. See, this needle is deflecting. If I switch off the current, this magnetic needle settles in its original position, north and south. As soon as I touch it, the magnetic field produced by this electromagnet affects the deflection. In this part, we will see working of a solenoid. Solenoid is I will not say instrument, but solenoid is a part which produces strong electromagnet. So if you see it carefully, the wire is turned around the hollow pipe. I can insert this bolt through this. So this is a hollow pipe and this wire is turned around it. There are so many turns, more than 300 turns are there of this wire. So when we connect this wire using this bolt to electrical source, it will produce magnetism or magnetic field. But that electromagnetic field should be captured with something. So I am using this bolt as an iron core. So when we place this soft iron as an iron core, electromagnetic field produced by electromagnet is captured by this, and this acts as a magnet. So I will insert this. So basically this is an iron core and this is a solenoid. We will see working of solenoid. Just put this nut from the back side. Before that, you just see your terminals are not rusted or oxidized. So if it has some coating, use the polish paper to clean them off, because if they are oxidized or have some coating on it, it will not give or it will not pass the electrical current to the bolt. So make sure that you are just scratching them. After this, connect this with a bolt, both the terminals. You can use screwdriver as well to tighten it. So just make this assembly of solenoid, connect wires with the nut bolt, tighten it with screwdriver and connect it to the battery. Now this is acting as a electromagnet. So if I take it close to these pins, this you can see the strength of this electromagnet is depend on the power supply or what voltage you are passing through it. again I can see this 9-volt battery is drained, so it is not producing high magnetic field or strong electromagnet. It is able to lift only one pin, but this is a electromagnet, and if you switch off it, it will lose its electromagnet. Now I will show you this setup, how ammeter works. In this, instead of bolt, I have inserted this spoke in the solenoid and attached with a rubber band, so it is holding on the upper side of the solenoid. I have inserted a pin inside, a safety pin or U-clip. I just turn into the L shape and inserted this L shape pin inside it. First I will show you the working and then I will tell you the construction of this assembly to make ammeter. Now I have connected 9-volt battery. I am just going to touch and complete the circuit. As soon as circuit gets completed, solenoid will create electromagnetism and this needle should deflect. So that is exactly the working of any ammeter. So I am just touching it and see the deflection in the needle. So you can see this deflection in the needle. So this is how we use or construct the ammeter to measure the current. In any ammeter, we measure the current using such construction of ammeter. Now I will show you how I have done this. So first of all, I have stick this is just a reference protractor. You are not actually measuring anything in this. Just for reference, we have attached this to this black foam. Then there is a rubber band passing on this edge just to hold this solenoid onto it, and from the back side you will see I have connected battery and there is a hole here in which we can insert this U-clip in L shape form. So this clip is not touching to this spoke, but when electricity passes through the solenoid, it magnetizes the spoke. This pin gets magnetized and both have same poles, so this gets deflected to show the deflection, and we use similar techniques in ammeter to measure the current. Now we'll be making a world's simplest motor. If you remember in earlier talk, I asked you the name of the person who invented motor. That little boy who worked with Humphrey Davy. In 1831, Michael Faraday invented world's first motor, and today we will be making world's simplest motor using this material. This copper coil you have to remove and stretch it all wire. Maybe it will go outside of the frame, but still you have to make that wire straight and start winding. This is the positive terminal, this is negative terminal. Start winding towards the negative side of the cell or battery. Leave this 4-finger lengths of wire above the cell and start winding this wire onto the cell. Don't make it so much of tight, because we have to remove this later, and once this comes to an end, stop it like this. Then you have to remove this. So for removing, you have to put your fingers and hold the wires in your fingers and take out this wire loop like this. Now after this, you have to turn this free end around the copper coil like this. So first turn, second turn. Then this second side of the wire you have to wind but you have to make sure that this end is coming exactly opposite of the first one, making 180-degree angle. So if you can see it clearly, otherwise I will just hold it against the white background. If you see this clearly, these two free ends which are coming out of the loop are 180-degree apart from each other, and this shape is circular shape. If this shape is not circular or these two wires are not 180-degree, motor will not work. So again you have to start from the scratch or zero. After this, we need to remove the insulation from both the sides and all the ends. Both the ends and all the sides. So again I am using this. So instead of this, maybe I will use cutter. Maybe you can use this polish paper, but right now I am using this cutter because I find it very easy and also I want to save time. So remove the insulation from all the sides like this and both the ends. Extra wire you may cut later, but you have to remove the insulation till this end of the wire. So make sure that your shape is not disturbed and you have wire. Now what we can do is, you can cut this extra wire using scissor like this. So maybe you cut it later like this. So after this, we have to attach these two pins to the battery using a sellotape. Take the sellotape and stick it the pin. Now if you see this pin carefully, I will say this is the head of the pin. So I will stick this head of the pin onto the sellotape like this, and I will take this onto the positive terminal of the battery like this. So just put it there and take it from this side. Now again from this side you have to place this head of the pin at the center on negative terminal. So just let me do it for you and then I will show it to you. Now from this side this pin is there, and then put this tape around it, and just you have to make sure two things here. The level of these two pins should be same, height of two pins should be same, and their orientation. If you see from the camera angle, these two are in one line. If this pin is like this is wrong. They should be in one line and in one plane. So make sure that both conditions are satisfied, and then put this tape around the pin and cell to give some strength to the pin. After this we will insert an armature, because here you are supplying electricity in this, and for you just I will put this armature. But before you put armature, again make sure that you have removed the insulation from all the sides of both the ends. I am using cutter here. If you are using cutter, be careful while using cutter, or you can use the polish paper there. So again I repeat, these two free ends should be 180 degree away from each other, and shape of the armature should be circular. Now insert these two through the pinholes like this. Now electricity is passing through this right now, but this armature or this motor is not moving right now, because though magnetic field is created, there is no external magnetic field. For that we have these two small ring magnets. I'm just going to insert these two small ring magnets below it like this here. And now you can I can feel the force on the armature, and you can see it starts moving. So this is the working of simple DC motor. If I remove the magnets, this motor will start spinning. I will again tell you the working. These pins, they are taking supply from the battery, and that supply is going to the copper coil, which creates the magnetic field. And as you insert two permanent magnets, the magnetic field created by electromagnet or copper coil interacts with the magnetic field of the permanent magnet, and attraction and repulsion happens subsequently, and as a result this motor spins. If your motor doesn't work, you have to correct the armature or check for the insulation. If you haven't removed insulation properly, your motor will not work. If you have any difficulty, write in the comment section and we will reach out to you to help you to make your motor work. I think you should lay your hands to try this world's simplest motor. And remember, Faraday took years to invent his motor, and your job is just to recreate the function of or working of the motor. So if it doesn't work, don't get panic, don't give up, try hard to make it work. Though it looks simple, but at the same time it requires lot of skills to make it work. So young explorers, in this session we have seen history of electromagnetism from Galvani to Michael Faraday. But Faraday's work didn't stop on the motor. He invented one more exciting thing just after 3 to 4 years after invention of the motor. He invented AC generator. Details about all these and how to make AC generator we will see in next session. So for this session, perform all the activities you have in your kit. Thank you.